What's up, guys? This is Nikademis, and you're watching Neon Owl on Groove Cruise.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Nick. This is your first Groove Cruise, is that right?
Yep. Yeah.
So first time. How are you feeling overall?
At first I was a little stressed. I didn't know what to expect. I hear it's a lot of chaos, and I'm a little more introverted. But now that I'm here, I'm super excited. The vibe it's really great.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What's been the vibe so far, and what are you expecting over the next few days?
It's been a lot of positivity. Everyone seems really, really respectful so far, which is awesome. And I'm just expecting that to continue and for things to be more and more fun as we go. It's the boat's filling up as the day has gone on. There's definitely a lot of people, but everyone I think is really ready to have a good time. So, yeah.
I think close to 5,000 is what they said. So is there someone you're looking forward to seeing? And what can we expect from your sets personally?
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Midas and Trifecta. Been a big fan of their stuff for a while, but I've never had an opportunity to actually see them live.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they've been big inspirations for me, of course. So, sorry, what was the second part of the question?
What can we expect from your sets?
So from my sets, a lot of heavy stuff, a lot of fun stuff, and sprinkling in definitely some cool melodic stuff, new stuff I've been working on that I'm really excited to share. But, I kind of just want it to be fun. We're on Groove Cruise, and if people are like enjoying a certain vibe, then I'm just going to roll with it, So, yeah.
Awesome. So, it's no secret that, you've received support from some of the biggest names in bass, Slander recently, and then Illenium, blank. But it didn't happen overnight, right? You didn't wake up next day, oh, hey, here we are. So I would love to hear more about your journey. Let's start there. I would love to hear more about your journey.
Yeah, it's crazy. I actually just realized the other day that, I first started producing 10 years ago. I'm 25 now. I think.
Dang.
Yeah.
You were 15?
It's crazy. Yeah. I was a sophomore in high school. That was the first time I split Logic Pro with my dad. And just kind of started messing around. Obviously didn't take it too seriously at the time, but yeah, produced all throughout high school. I had a bunch of medical issues and stuff in high school. I was in and out of the hospital, but during that time, I had a lot of time off from school, and I would just be at home working on music and stuff. And then it wasn't really until the pandemic hit that I started to feel like I was gaining a little traction. I had kind of discovered mid-tempo bass and melodic bass music a couple years before that. And it was actually the Twitch demo streams that really started to give me an avenue to kind of get my music to larger artists. So I always was very introverted and didn't really reach out to network with other artists and stuff, but I felt like that gave me an avenue. And I was very lucky to be selected to have my tracks listened to on those streams, and that started to get me connected with guys like Blank and Illenium, and then just opportunities kind of spiraled from there. But yeah, it's crazy how long I've been it's scary to think it's been 10 years since I started sitting down at my laptop and just messing around with music. So
incredible.
I witnessed a really epic moment. So I know we talked about this, but Sergio and I, we were at Decadence. We didn't know you were going to be there. You didn't know I was going to be there. Then next thing I know, Slander was like, our friend Nicodemus sent this song, collab. And then you were up on the platform thing. So tell me how it felt, and how did that collab all kind of go down?
It was surreal. It was a track that I started working on probably a few years ago at this point. And, from one of my former managers sent the tune over to their management, and they took a listen.
Yeah.
And they were digging it. And it was, I think, not this past year, but the year before, I met Derek at Red Rocks from Slander, and he's like, yeah, I'm really digging what you did. He's like, I'm going to keep listening to it and see if you want to, move forward and do the work on our end and, get a vocal and stuff. And then we stayed in touch, and soon enough he was texting me
soon enough.
Yeah. It's just a few months later, he's like, hey man, I think we're gonna, work on this, and like we want to get Pooh Bear on the vocal. He's like, I've been in touch with him, and he really wants to work on something. And yeah, Pooh Bear cut the vocal and just nailed it. And then we kind of sat on it for a while, and I then saw him at Red Rocks this year, Derek and Scott as well. And Derek was like, yeah, I can't wait to, get her song out there. And he's like, what are you doing for New Year's? I was like, nothing. Really. Yeah. And he's like, I think you should come to Decadence so we can premiere this. And I was like, cool, all right. And yeah, they brought me out there, and just a surprise thing. And yeah, Illenium was playing right after too, so they ended the set and he saw it as well, so it was nice to say hi to him too. It was just really like the perfect moment for sure. And they were just like so welcoming, having me there, like, and people keep making fun of me because I stood up on the table, and you could see me in the video like going to Derek like, hey, can I go up there? And yeah, it was crazy, like, dream come true moment for sure. I'm super grateful for them giving me a shot and having me out there. And they're just like the nicest guys, so supportive of me, and like I can't thank them enough for that.
Yeah, it was also like an epic stage to kind of like end the old year and ring in the new year with. Yeah, that stage was packed.
It was. Yeah, I've never been on a stage with that many people. So it was just.
I think they held like 16 or 18,000 or something, and I was like,
it was insane.
Holy cow!
It was insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was glad you were able to experience it. I wish I knew you were going to be
you're
there.
Here, Nick? What the heck? And you're like, you're here? Yeah.
So, yeah, but I was keeping quiet about it because I just kind of wanted it to be a surprise. And then, yeah, it just went really awesome. Really awesome night. So,
cool.
Yeah.
So speaking of, Illenium, Slander, those guys, I read online that they influence, production-wise, they're like inspirational to you, but also like lifestyle or like life-wise, they've been inspiration. So kind of like multi-part. The first part of this question is, tell us about that influence musically. And then second part is tell us about that influence lifestyle-wise or life-wise.
Yeah, so I mean, their music, I mean, both of them has been a huge influence for me. Illenium was like one of the first melodic bass guys I discovered and really helped me fall in love with the genre for sure. I think there's something really special about what he captivates, the emotions that he conveys and how he can captivate the listeners. It's kind of like hard to explain for me how it touched me in a certain way. And I can only hope to do that with my music one day, but I think it was, also for the both of them seeing how they could take the genre and really bring it to the masses, and not just electronic music lovers, but people beyond. And it's music that I feel is timeless, and like I said, just kind of goes beyond just this scene. For your second part, like one thing that really always resonated with me was Illenium overcoming adversity. With his addiction. I didn't experience that particularly, but like I said, I had a lot of medical issues in high school. I in and out of the hospital a bunch. I had like 5 major surgeries over the course of 2 years, and it was like a close call a couple of times for me. And to come back, to see that he can come back from the place that he was in, how he's described his story and achieve things. I mean, so incredible for electronic music. Really inspires me that, hopefully one day I can even do a fraction of the same of what he did. So yeah, I'd say those are a couple of ways in which they inspire me.
Awesome. I have an add-on question also.
Yeah.
Lifestyle wise or life wise, if you were to tell us your dream day, ideal day, what would that be like for you? You had the day off, you could do anything you wanted. Yeah,
that's a really good question. I'm naturally introverted, and honestly,
surprise.
yeah. which everyone's probably like, then why is this guy on Groove Cruise? But
He's not very comfortable yet. We're on day
Yeah,
1, but we'll see on day 2, 3, and 4.
no, like I said, I'm already digging the vibe a lot, and I'd say ideally like would just be like waking up, I love breakfast food, having like a really good breakfast, and then literally just like sitting in my studio and playing video games, and then probably just like chilling with my girlfriend at night or something. Ideally, I'd love to see my dog as well. I guess in a perfect world, but I don't live at home anymore. My family lives in New York, and so does my family dog, of course. She's a little Shih Tzu named Ginger.
Named
Ginger.
Ginger.
Yeah.
Cute.
So I know it's pretty boring, but those are the things that make me happy. So it's the simple things for me. Music has always been my love, and like being able to wake up and have the time, I still do work a day job, but have the time to sit down in the studio and work on what I love. It's like, that's what gets me out of bed. And I couldn't live without it. So
awesome.
Yeah.
We've had you on a couple of open door sessions, you and I open door sessions where, we definitely dove into mental health talks as well. I know that's something you're really passionate about. Can you share with us some of the experience you've had, either as an artist or as a person, and that's challenging, but the things you did to kind of overcome that, to, maybe share with some other artists that are out there battling similar issues? Because I know you guys as creatives are also very sensitive.
Yes.
But we have to keep crunching out content, keep pushing. So I know mental health is just something you're so passionate about, and people would love to hear about that piece of your journey.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I am a huge mental health advocate. I've struggled for many, many years. A lot of stuff from that, medical stuff was tough to deal with. But I'll focus more on the artist side of things. I struggled quite a bit with like the kind of what you're saying about, it's like you have to be a machine, and I love to create and make music, but there's a lot of other sides to this whole career that you have to do. So
you can't just stay in his room being an introvert producing music. Unfortunately, he wishes.
I gotta see some sunlight every once in a while. So no, but I think finding balance is really important, and that's not necessarily easy. I struggled a lot in the fall with fell into a bit of a funk where I felt a bit or quite discouraged, like struggling with the thoughts of, am I good enough, imposter syndrome, etc. And I think this is something that all artists face, but I think it's just important to think about what have I accomplished and what do I have coming up, and try to focus on that things, because many of us who struggle with mental health, your brain is going to go right to the negative and focus on those things. And I would say, if you need the help or someone's recommending the help, get it from a professional. I've been doing it for many, many years. Have a great support system of people around you who believe in you when, sometimes you forget to believe in yourself. And got my manager over there to the side. He was a huge part of why I came out of that funk, I think, because he always believed in me when I felt like maybe I couldn't sometimes. And I think we all fall into that. And then, more opportunities will come. And then once they do arrive, those can be moments of encouragement that can really push you forward. But I think it's just about finding a balance overall. And that's not always easy to do, but there are tools in place to help people like us, like professionals, friends, medication if you really need it. And those are, things I would try to focus on. It's trying to have that glass half full attitude. And I think it takes time to develop that, but I think it ends up being an enormous help. So, yeah.
What's been the thing that you feel most grateful about just pursuing your career as an artist?
I mean, grateful that I have the opportunity to potentially make a positive impact on others. That's really the whole reason that I've done this, the whole reason I did this, is that music was there for me when I needed it and felt like I had nothing else, when I felt like there was maybe no light at the end of the tunnel. And if I can provide that for someone else, even if it's one person, then it's all worth it for me. So
That's beautiful. So I'm gonna ask a. We'll first start off with another question that just came up. I guess a lot of people, Neo and Al does a lot of like artist development and all that. And one of the most common questions that we get is around branding. Mm-hmm. And also a lot of artists that come in are introverts. So what would you say, like, how do you think about branding and like the, navigating the industry as an introvert yourself?
Yeah, I think, branding is, it's extremely important. I think the key is to have a story to tell. And that will kind of help tell your brands. And I do have more of a story around the idea of Nikademis that I want to tell. And we're kind of getting around to that for sure, part of like the new logo and everything. But I think a big part of it that I've realized lately is just having a story, and you can create a brand around that. And it's tough when you're super introverted. I am not the guy who's going to get in front of the camera and, dance and well, no.
Maybe by Sunday.
Perhaps. We'll see. Yeah. And there's a lot of DJs on Reels, TikTok who will get in front of the camera and just like dance around to their music. And that's totally fine. I totally respect that, but it's just not who I am. And I don't want to portray someone that I'm not. Mm-hmm. So really for me, it's been about, with myself and my team, brainstorming ways to create that content because it's totally necessary nowadays, but still keep it authentic to myself. And I think it's something I'm still figuring out, and I'm always brainstorming new ideas. But that's what I would say, is that there are ways to create content that's still authentic to you, even if you're someone that doesn't want to show their face in front of the camera at all, ever. Mm-hmm. Like, I will get in front of the camera, but there's certain limitations, I feel like, to myself and my personality. And I think there's a way for everyone to showcase themselves in this kind of content-centered world. Yeah. So I would just say don't stress over it too much, and that there's people out there who will resonate with what you're doing if you're staying authentic and true to yourself, because I think authenticity resonates with people in one way or another. So,
people can see it. People can feel it.
I think they can. I even subconsciously feel like the authenticity. So that's just what I've been trying to figure out, is ways that I can stay true to myself and still make content and maybe get even more comfortable, getting in front of the camera, etc. So.
Yeah. I love that you mentioned that piece, because I feel like in today's content world, there's so much, there's viral content. There's like almost templates, like, this XYZ to get your reel like viral. Yeah. But it's like, you have to cut through that noise. And I feel like you mentioned a really good way. It's like, be authentic, be yourself, and people will just naturally connect to that. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
And, it may not happen right away. And also, like, if people want to, kind of follow those trends and chase those, follow those templates, etc., like, and that's what they want to do, and that's them, I think that's totally cool. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's been about having to figure out different ways, because I just, unfortunately don't feel like I'm that person entirely. So, that's kind of my take on it.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And I have a follow-up kind of question. Like, what do you think are kind of the top 3 things you'd attribute to getting you to where you are today as an artist?
Are you saying like characteristics, or like
could be
occurrences,
characteristics or things you did, like chances you took? Anything that, like, the top 3 things that come to mind for you?
Top 3 things off the bat. One is perseverance. Just like staying in it and taking the like negatives as they come and just powering through them and using them as fuel to your fire. And if the negatives come, you just kind of let them roll off your shoulders and just remind yourself why you're doing it, and keep moving forward. 2 other things that really come to mind is, I don't know, the second one was a lot of my experiences in high school with my medical stuff. Even though it was unfortunate, I really think it did set me up to be the person I am today. And I don't know if it gave me a lot of tools and a lot of different perspectives on life, and I am not sure that I would be where I am today, like in this position with these opportunities without those tools. And then, the third is kind of a toss-up for me.
Depending on the day.
Yeah. It could, I think about a lot of things. Like, I am very, very grateful for, like, my father instilled like a technological background in me from being very young. He does video production. I do video production by day as well. And I think without him instilling that background in me from very young, even though video is very different, it allowed me to adapt to audio and music production. So yeah, thank you, Dad. I appreciate it.
What can we expect coming up for you the rest of 2024?
Yeah, so gonna be doing a bunch of shows. I'm supporting William Black on a number of shows. Got a number of support shows for Blank that are going to be rolling out as well. Playing Stay in Bloom, Dabin's festival, which is super, super dope. I am so stoked for that. Speaking of him, I did a remix of Worlds Away as well, and we're hoping to get that out soon. Okay, we just got the
February 14th, Valentine's Day.
And, the track with Slander is going to be out eventually. We're still working on the release date. I know they kind of want to tease it out a bit more, as well as I would like to, and just get it into people's ears so that when we do drop it, people are ready for it, And I've got a ton of originals that are just kind of like in the bank that we're trying to schedule releases for. So and then a remix for William Black as well off his album.
Just to name a few things coming up. Yeah. So it's going to be a big year. I mean, I'm definitely very excited. Like, you've obviously been one of our favorite people that we've met so far. You're so genuine, like authentic, open to share. So I don't doubt that your music is going to reach and touch people the same way. So we're very excited to continue to watch your journey.
I appreciate it. I can't thank you guys for the support enough. Seriously, thank you.
And of course, on the theme of Groove Cruise, since we're here, we got to ask you a few Groove Cruise questions.
Okay.
You're wearing regular clothes. Actually, all three of us are wearing regular clothes, but there's a lot of themes on ship. So if you were to pick a theme that Groove Cruise will be implementing at the next cruise, what theme will that be? How shall the folks dress up?
I haven't seen a ton of the themes yet. I've seen a lot of costumes.
We have like jungle. We have like
universe.
Like
I'm kind of I'm kind of digging like the SpongeBob vibe.
Okay,
that's where I'm going with it. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do SpongeBob.
I can quote like unlimited amounts of SpongeBob episodes. It's really, really strange.
Okay. If you were the captain of the ship, where would we be going? Anywhere in the world, no limitations.
It's tough. I haven't been a lot of places outside of the U.S., but I would say St. Kitts. We went there on a cruise, me and my family, in 2016. It was just like one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. So yeah, that's what I would say.
And then final question.
Unless we can go interplanetary.
Okay, where are we going?
I don't know if we're like limitless.
I guess it is limitless, I guess. So the first out of the world experience. Okay, if you were stuck on an island with just one person, who would this person be?
Oh my God, that is. Really
I know. I like to throw you the hard ones.
Jeez, a person that I know, or just like.
I guess you could pick a stranger.
I'm trying to think of like someone who's like some famous person who's really good at survival skills. But it would probably have to be. It's my mom.
Mom? Okay. All right, mom.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We can't wait to catch your sets. We'll definitely be there front and centered, and we will be seeing much more of you this year.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.